There's 5 foods that I see in almost every trolley that are quietly making your gut worse. They're feeding dysbiosis and blood sugar crashes. They're behind your bloating, brain fog, energy slumps, and some of that weight that just won't shift. And they're also marketed as healthy for you. So what if the foods that you trusted were actually the ones holding your health back? And here's some quick proof before we start. Go and flip over the yogurt in your fridge right now. 4 grams of sugar is equal to 1 teaspoon. And a lot of those low-fat, fruity tubs hide 5, 6, 7 teaspoons of sugar. Now, I'm a clinical nutritionist and I'm a chef, and I watch these clever marketing fakes set my patients back every single week. They're big companies that put profit before your health. No surprise there. So here are my worst 5 offenders that I commonly see and the best gut-friendly swaps for each. And stick around because one of them is sold as weight loss, but often does the exact opposite, and people don't talk about it. So before your next shop, walk with me in the aisles the way that I shop for myself and my own family, because we are all getting sicker and it's time that someone showed you what the best choices are. Number 1. Now I get fired up about this one because it's one of the biggest hidden drivers of inflammation in the modern kitchen. The big bottle of vegetable oil and margarine. Yeah, that heart-healthy spread is also known as industrial seed oil. It's the canola, the safflower, the so-called vegetable oil, even though there's no actual vegetables in it. And these are extracted from seeds. Heavily refined, they're often processed using solvents like hexane. Then they're deodorized and modified to mimic the texture of traditional fats like butter. And these fragile polyunsaturated fats can oxidize when exposed to heat, light, and air, forming compounds like aldehydes that can contribute to cellular damage or accelerated aging. So the swap is one of the oldest in the book. Cook like your grandmother did, using real butter. Maybe it's ghee or a little animal fat, lard, coconut oil, or just a splash of stock if you don't want to use oil at all. Everything cold or low heat, you can use extra virgin olive oil. People who follow a traditional Mediterranean diet, rich in this extra virgin olive oil, tend to have more diverse and resilient guts. And that's likely thanks to the polyphenols, which is a natural plant compound to help nourish the beneficial microbes. Number 2 is hiding behind the word whole grain. Your breakfast cereal and the hidden sugars within it. Now, a recent Guardian piece reported that even bran flakes could be reclassified as junk food under proposed UK guidelines. Most of it is actually less of breakfast and more of edible confetti with a green leaf on the box. And then you feel it as a 10 a.m. crash or a slump with a biscuit hunt mid-morning. The gut healthy swap is something I eat regularly, and it's bircher muesli. You can prep it the night before, it's even better for you. I use rolled organic oats, and I do buy organic here. It's only a little bit more expensive, and grains are heavily sprayed. It's just a couple of extra bucks. And then you can decorate it as you wish. I put frozen berries on, or cinnamon, a little bit of raw honey, and some natural yogurt. And check that the yogurt is not too sugary, because the low fat or the flavored ones are often the worst. They strip out the fat, they pour in the sugar to bring out the taste, so breakfast actually becomes more of a dessert. So this is the same bowl, none of the hidden load. And you're actually feeding the microbes that calm the cravings, not the ones that drive them. And your blood sugar can stay flat instead of being a roller coaster. So tell me, what's your go-to breakfast on a busy week? 3, supermarket bread. Now this one does feel like a betrayal because it can sometimes be sold as a wholesome staple, particularly the wholemeal supermarket sliced bread. Now, real bread made by our ancestors used to take days to make. They fermented it, and most of these supermarket loaves are actually rushed through that process. It's a few hours, they put a slug of added yeast in it, and they put preservatives in there so it holds for the week. So here's the bit that matters for your bloating. When bread actually traditionally ferments slowly, the bacteria break down the fructans and some of the gluten that otherwise kind of blow you you up like a balloon. So that most supermarket breads skip that step. They become very hard to digest. And sometimes even the supermarket sourdough is the fake kind. It's a quick rise with none of the gut healthy benefits. So I recommend buy it from your local artisan bakery. It is money well spent, and ask them if they leave in it for at least 24 hours to 72. That's the sweet spot. And if you can get some ancient grain loaves like with spelt or rye, that's going to be even better for your gut. Now, what I do is I grab some of the day-old loaves and I get them to slice them and I put them in the freezer and then I toast them. So it's a little bit cheaper. 4, fake meats and salad dressings. Now, this seems like a healthy food, right? And you build a beautiful lunch and then you drown it in a bottled salad dressing. And that's where it turns on you. Most of the salad dressings, especially the creamy ones, are held together by emulsifiers. And this agent stops the oil and water separating, so it pours out nicely like silken dressing and lasts a year on your shelf. Now, here's why your gut really cares about that. The slippery mucus layer protecting your gut wall, well, many of the emulsifiers have been shown to thin it and disturb the bacteria living on it. This is your gut wall, your kingdom. And the kicker, the exact trick sits also in ultra-processed meats. The soy sausages, the plant-based mince, those nuggets, they also have these emulsifiers in it. Now, soy can genuinely be good for you, for some people at least. Tofu, edamame, particularly fermented soy, like tempeh or miso. But it's the cheap, additive-heavy additions, like those emulsifiers, a huge amount of salt, that aren't what the health packet promises you. So the swap, you can make a dressing in minutes. Literally just extra virgin olive oil and a vinegar with, say, balsamic or white vinegar or lemon or whatever you want. Or you put it in a jar with some mustard and some flavorings if you want, and it keeps for ages in the fridge. So in short, read the labels, shorter is better. And let me know what your favorite weeknight dressing is to make. But quickly, before we keep going, if you're getting something out of this, I have a small favor to ask. Leave me a comment or a like or an emoji. It just tells YouTube that this content is good and it pushes it to other people like you that need to hear this stuff. Number 5, diet drinks and sugar-free swaps. This is the whole guilt-free aisle, which is not true, but the diet drinks, the zero sugar everything, the skinny snacks with sucralose tucked inside, we think these sweeteners just sail through us doing nothing, but they don't. So picture your gut like a garden. The real food waters it, but sucralose and saccharin act more like a toxic weed killer. And they aren't digested up the top, so they actually reach your colon intact where your good bacteria live. And then they start destroying those microbes that you need for your health. And here's the surprise, even for your microbes, you're better off with a small splash or even a cup or half a cup of juice. That will beat it. Personally, I water mine down 50-50 with water, and I don't have more usually than a glass a day. But the sugar-free snacks also, they will bloat you for different reasons. So they have sugar alcohols in them and they ferment, and that's why you're like a balloon at 4 p.m. So the swap here is just use maybe some sparkling water with real fruit or lime. Personally, I have a go-to electrolyte drink with coconut water. It's a DIY drink. I'll put the recipe here in case you want to watch it after it. Now, in terms of sweeteners, you can use a little raw honey or stevia. They came out the cleanest, but just in small amounts if weight and sugar are an issue for you, which is an issue for most people now. Now, look, I know it's a lot to hold in your head. Nutrition isn't that simple. So if you're just time poor and you're really tired and you want someone to just hand you the plan, I have built the exact roadmap that I use with my private clients. What to eat, the swaps, the reset meal plans. It's all there in my gut reset and repair program, everything you need, but without the cost of one-on-one sessions. So I'll put the links below. You can go and check it out if that's you. So that's the 5. This is how healthy actually starts in real life with better choices one by one. So now you've sorted out what to take out. Next, this is what to put in to help rebuild your gut. Until next time, love your guts.